Howdy hey, this is Frakbox, and I'm here with Omega Wolf
Hey!
and TruBluBlur.
Long time no see.
So, in the last episode, I had asked Omega Wolf a very important question, a question that I will now get to.
42.
Yes.
I understood that reference.
That is the answer to the question, how well do you speak German?
Josh Uko's in there. Oh my goodness.
No, don't.
Found him.
Don't do it. Oh, God.
The awkward music.
9!
Niner Schnitzel. Few free at last.
Alright, that's what you're gonna go with, okay.
Gracious. I'm switching accents all over the place. Why don't one of you?
Ich hasse du!
That's okay. Go ahead and switch accents.
No. Why don't one of you do the accent?
Ich hasse du!
Coca-Cola, sometimes war.
Or it might be Hassan.
Wait, is this the Uko or is this Uko's son?
This is the same one.
See each other again.
I see.
Yes.
I don't know if it's Hassa or Hassan. Although this Uku is female, so
Why are you more happy to hold the Uko now?
Because now you're not so.
it's looking
freaked out.
around.
Is
It's
in
looking
fact.
around. It's actually animated to do things.
Yep.
Interesting. All right, let's get this off the screen. Yes. So, how well do you speak German? Wolf?
Mostly what I can pick up with context.
Sure.
I'm trying to remember the specific rule, but when asking a question, I think the verb comes before the noun.
Okay. So so are you better at reading it or speaking it?
I can probably read it better. Comprehending is different.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, for me, I can read. Like, if I go to Wikipedia, I could probably understand most of what's going on. I can at least understand that, like, oh, this is a verb. I just go look up what the verb is. Okay, now I understand the sentence.
All nouns in German are capitalized.
Really?
Like,
Oh, that's weird.
like actual nouns.
Oh no.
Oh, so like the word chicken. What's the word chicken?
I don't actually know.
That's like the first word you learn in Spanish. Whoa. Yeah, like learning Spanish, you kind of learn
I know Saft is juice.
Saft.
Yeah, and then like if you add a descriptor to Saft, like orange, would be orange and Saft.
Yeah, and then so I think we talked about this earlier, but like gloves are just hand shoes.
I don't know about that.
That's what I heard from like a YouTube channel. That like gloves, like if you wanted to say gloves, it would basically just be like hand shoes.
I think I would call them hand socks.
I guess like if you were,
But like you just keep compounding the words more and more.
it'll make sense.
So like it's really hard to say pancake, but it's like Pfannkuchen. Kuchen.
Huh.
And then if you want apple pancake, it's Apfelpfannkuchen.
Interesting.
It's all one word.
Yeah. So I know some Spanish, and so does TruBluBlur. I'm not sure how well you've kept up on your Spanish. Whoa, that was weird.
Yeah, a little bit. Not incredibly.
Okay. Because I mean, you could probably say the
rusty.
basics, right?
I'm pretty rusty.
So if you wanted to say like hello, my name is, and like if you were dropped off in Ecuador, how well do you think you'd survive?
Oh boy.
Would you be able to communicate the basics?
I think it'd probably be okay. Like I know how to get to the bathroom and.
Right. I could probably do at least the basics. The problem is like hearing spoken Spanish is really hard for me.
Yeah.
Reading it is much easier, which is strange because I'm kind of more I'm like audible. So like my type of like I like hearing things I remember sounds, and I'm really good with that. So, like, I guess spoken language is a little bit different than that.
Yeah.
Your brain processes it in a different place.
Well, that's because when people speak it, they don't actually pronounce every word correctly.
Right. That's pretty common for languages.
And so they
for
sometimes just mash the words together.
Yeah.
When it should be pronounced fully.
Or, like, the pronunciations of words don't necessarily you know, in English this is really hard as well. So, like, English speakers in, like, Britain, a really common thing is to add, like, ER on the end of, like, ER for, like, A sounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, what's an example? Like Maria. Like, if you're saying Maria, like Maria, that's kind of a that's a pretty common accent. So, you know, like, when you listen to a British person talk, notice how they're saying, like, words that end in, like, A.
It's true.
I saw him.
I actually have.
I saw him.
A lot of like experience working with a British person. My meat manager was from London for a while, although now I'm in produce nowadays. But you just kind of pick it up after a while, you know.
Yeah.
There's and he absolutely did that. Like, you need to thaw out that fish would be Thor.
Yeah, it's interesting how I've been watching a lot of YouTube things about, like, different languages recently.
Yeah.
So
Hey.
I'm very interested. Oh, nice. Interested by languages and flags.
Yeah.
I love flags. But yeah, so
West Virginia needs a better flag.
It does. It does need a better
It's
flag.
not a great flag.
Well, we'll make sure to tell that to the West Virginians next time we see them.
Right.
Since we're in their capital right now.
West Virginia, we're actually really sorry.
Like, we looked
Please
up
don't be mad.
Oh my God.
We looked at the Wikipedia page for West Virginia just to get some very basic information about them earlier.
Please don't be mad. We're just trying to make a joke.
I'm sure they don't mind. I'm like, so when Fallout 76 was announced, there was like the tourism board in West Virginia was really hoping it would increase tourism.
Yeah.
So they're you know they're happy when they're mentioned.
But you know who probably wouldn't be okay with getting made fun of?
Who?
Texas. And yet SpongeBob gets away with it.
Oh, Texas is So I think I mentioned this before. But whenever I talk to somebody from Texas, I make it a point to emphasize that they are from the East.
Oh no! Oh no!
Because they're from every single standard that I could judge somebody being from the East, they are East.
It's true.
They are off center.
It's true.
They're so I make sure to call them the Mid East.
That's terrible.
Well, they're east of the Rocky Mountains.
Yo,
as far as I'm concerned, they're the
know.
East. You know. See, everything I consider the West, as far as, like, in America, is Rocky Mountains over, is the West.
We're so lost.
I'm looking at the ground.
And then, like, New Mexico, sure,
That's
they
what
can
I
be.
was.
They
No,
can
that's
be
where I
the
came
West.
from. Dang it. There was.
But when I'm
something-
talking to
there
somebody
was-
from
there
Texas,
was a reason I came over here.
everything west of Texas is the West. So congratulations, Montana. You're the West.
What's Montana?
Huh?
West of Texas.
What's Montana?
It doesn't exist.
Oh my god.
It's a myth, like Australia.
Oh my gosh.
I've never been to Australia. I can't prove it exists.
Okay, so that's where I got the heart piece.
It is a little disorienting doing this
Upside down.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Maybe we just need to, like,
I haven't been over here
we
yet.
need to hang TruBluBlur by his ankles
From the ceiling.
so he can see properly.
You know, what's interesting is I heard whoa.
No, I want to look up.
So I heard somewhere that if you were to hang somebody upside down for an extended period of time, like days, months,
Oh, no, that's where you came from.
eventually
I know, I'm still looking at the same place.
eventually their brain would autocorrect so that what they viewed being upside down was right side up.
That's
Yeah,
weird.
but
Yeah, the
they're-
brain, because, like, our eyes already,
Yeah.
like, when it gets information,
Yes.
it's already upside down.
It's true.
And our brains just autocorrect it so that it's right side up. So the information that we're being given, because of the way mirrors work, is upside down.
I just realized the map fits the ceiling shape.
Oh.
Oops.
So,
Right?
so that, like, our brain kind of just interprets information for how it's useful for us to see things.
It's true. Yeah.
And so it would just adapt itself so that eventually just you would be upside down, but the world would look right side up.
The brain actually does quite a few things like that.
Yeah.
Like how the eyes move.
Yeah.
Your eyes actually physically cannot move smoothly.
Yeah.
They can only stutter from one place to the next.
That's absolutely correct.
But when you are looking at like a sweeping panoramic view, you still view it as a smooth movement, and that's because your brain is filling in the gaps with smooth movement that isn't actually happening.
Yeah, so your eyes stutter, basically.
Which means your brain is more intelligent than you think it is.
Yes. Well, it kind of just handles these things on the fly. So it's
Which is why it can't... That's why you imagine pink.
yeah.
Pink isn't real.
It's just yeah, I mean, colors aren't technically real.
But, like,
it's just the
the
wiggling
color-
of light.
the impression of the color pink doesn't exist. It's not red, and it's not all the colors.
Yeah.
So it's your brain imagines something in between.
Yeah. I mean, either way, with colors, it's just the wavelength at which light wiggles.
Yeah, there's no wavelength for pink.
So yeah, light isn't necessarily, like, color doesn't exist. It's just how our brains interpret that color. And so, in theory...
Also, purple doesn't exist.
Yeah.
It's violet.
Yeah. Also, so your brain might interpret the color differently than my brain does.
Especially if you're colorblind.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it is very possible that even though we're all working from basically the same template, that
Where do I want to go, though?
all our colors still could look very different. And what studies have found that women can typically, like the average woman can typically identify more individual colors in the spectrum than men can.
That's because more men
But that
can
men are
become
better
colorblind.
with movement or something. And then if you're colorblind, so seeing less colors helps you see movement better. So like camouflage, for example, like if somebody's wearing camouflage in the woods, a colorblind person can tell that they're there more easily than somebody who sees colors can. So that's one of the reasons why perhaps color blindness, the adaptation of color blindness hasn't completely gone away because it's still useful. Kind of like left-handed, like people with left-handedness.
Yeah.
It's useful. It's useful to exist, and therefore people who... and it's also not something that, like, if you had this trait, it would necessarily affect you from being able to procreate or reproduce.
Right.
So, and not only that, but it might actually help you in that regard.
How is this water here?
Where do you think the steam comes from?
Where do you think the West Virginians drink? They gotta get it from somewhere.
Lava.
They drink lava. It's dead body skirted
It's
on
stayed
the
on
water.
top. Well, they're water
The
skitters.
rupee is still
guess.
on top of
The,
the water.
the rupee is, yeah. I'm
Interesting.
not going for it.
I mean, we've already gotten
Sigh.
the blue rupee, so
It wouldn't tell us, but, you know.
That'd be funny if, like, you got the blue rupee
In the water.
and in the water, and then, like, Link sinks and then just drowns.
Oh my gosh.
This episode, the last couple episodes have been more informative than hilarious, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Which I guess you need a balance. You can't be haha funny all the time.
I'm thirsty.
Well, you should have grabbed some of this LaCroix water
I
for
don't
yourself.
need your hippie juice.
You know, normally I'd be irritated by that, but that's so accurate.
LaCroix or whatever.
No, hippie juice.
Hippie juice. Oh.
I'd be like, why would you say that? But yeah.
The taste of not taste.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It smells stronger than it tastes.
It does really.
Considerably, in fact.
It sends not happy vibes.
You know what we should do is we need to do a LaCroix taste test.
Oh my gosh!
Where
See where you're blindfolded.
We're blindfolded,
Good
and
luck.
we try to guess the flavor. The
no.
Game Grumps did that once.
Did they really?
Oh, yeah.
This one tastes like water. Oh hey, this one tastes like water. Tastes like water. Oh hey, that one.
Yeah, but what
tastes like water?
what do you think? What do you think the water was nearby when it was canned?
Algae.
You know, with all this magnetism all around, Link should be ripped apart. Like literally,
well,
much
even
magnetism.
just that right there should rip him apart. Holding by one hand while wearing the iron boots.
No, like there are
I understand what you're saying.
magnetars
But
in space that are so powerful that if you were to get near them, they would rip your atoms apart.
yeah.
So you know what's interesting is I watched a YouTube video about whether or not blood was magnetic because it's got iron in it, right? The
Interesting.
hemoglobin. And what the person actually did through experimentation is he got a really powerful magnet and he put it like on a floatable plate in a bunch of pig blood.
I think
Okay.
I've seen that.
And basically what he found, or no, he put it on water, and he found some way to like test the magnetic properties, and actually the blood repels the magnet.
Did you stab it in the groin?
That is actually where any bipedal creature's center is for some reason in this game. That is always what will happen when I use the finishing move.
That's an unfortunate way to go.
It is unfortunate, and I don't think it was intentional.
It's okay, they're evil. Is that?
Oh, I need
It
the
always makes it okay
arrows.
to stab somebody in the groin as long as they're evil.
Yep. I mean that's how people have justified things for centuries, for millennia. Do I think they're evil? Yes. Okay. I can do anything I want to. I mean, it's not wrong. You know, people have typically dehumanized people for centuries. You know.
Okay, we gotta torture this orc in order to get information.
Oh, I'll tell a story.
I guess.
So a friend of mine was in a D&D campaign,
Yeah.
and so D&D 3.5, and he was playing a paladin, and
Gotcha.
paladins cannot torture people because they are lawful good, and they're not allowed to do bad things, or else they lose their paladin status. So this guy who was playing a paladin made his own paladin code. It was okayed by the DM, in which he was racist against orcs. He didn't think they're so he didn't like orcs. He didn't see them the same way he saw other races, and so it came time. They actually captured some orc,
Okay.
and we're going to interrogate it for information. The party did, and they're like, "Okay, guys, I guess we're going to need to interrogate this orc." Normal methods don't
Slash
seem to be
that.
working. Our diplomacy doesn't seem to be
Oh,
working.
right.
Oh.
I forgot about that.
Well, there we go.
Duh.
So yeah, diplomacy doesn't seem to be working. What are we gonna do? So they all look at the paladin. And they're like, "What?" He's like, "What?" And they're like, "We're gonna need to torture this guy." And the paladin's like, "Well, yeah, go ahead." And they're like, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah, orcs aren't people."
Oh my god.
And so they proceeded to torture the orc because the paladin said it was okay.
Ridiculous.
That's awful.
I left behind a key somewhere. I think I know where, though.
You got to
Oh
slash
wait,
the crystal
didn't we get a
again.
key already? I thought we got a
I
key.
used it.
We got a key from the Goron, didn't we?
I used it.
Oh. Oh.
I think it might be up there, so I need to magnet again.
So the Uko helps save your spot in a dungeon, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
That is the point and purpose.
Oh. So it will warp you back to a specific place?
Basically, like, it lets you save so that you can turn off the console, and when you turn it on, you're still standing there where he was.
Oh.
Instead of being at the entrance.
Oh.
The Uko represents
that's
travel.
a neat thing to do. Very nice.
Yeah.
Because the reason I bring that up is because we should probably call the episode.
Alright.
So this is Frakbox
This is TruBluBlur.
a mega wolf.
Have a great day.
Keep on walking slowly on the walls. I think it's in here. I was wrong.